Gary Gensler opens the door for a possible FTX exchange relaunch, which sends the price of the FTT token skyrocketing. Ripple hosts its Ripple Swell event where major announcements and partnerships were made. And the last thing that we're going to be going over, and probably the biggest piece of news, is Blackrock files for a spot Ethereum ETF, which sends the price of Ethereum up. Make sure you guys tune in all the way to the end of this video to find out all the details. Hey guys, it's Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys can go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already, click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end, and if you guys could share my videos and share my channel with anyone. I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can. I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started, today's gonna be Saturday, November 11th. Today here in the United States is Veterans Day, so I wanted to give a huge shout out and a thank you to all of our veterans for your guys' service to our country. We all really appreciate it. Getting started, the total market cap right now for all cryptocurrency right now is $1.42 trillion. This is a 0.70% increase on the day today. Fear and greed index, we're at a 77 right now. We're in greed, but we could see an extreme greed here coming up in the near future. Again, no financial advice, but I do see this as long as the price of cryptocurrency keeps going up. Bitcoin right now is currently trading at $37,147. Ethereum right now at $2,058. And XRP right now at 66.86 cents. Getting into our biggest gainers and losers on the day today. We got TIA going to be our biggest gainer right now, up 35.6%. We got Ruin right now up at 35%, and we got AVAX right now at 28.9. Biggest losers on the day today, we got FTT down 12.4%. MNT is going to be down 5.3, and then we got SHIB right now down 3.8. Now, I did say the price of FTT did go up drastically, and it obviously did. It doesn't look like it from this chart, but if we look at it from the week and the month right now, it was trading for roughly about $1, and it peaked at $4.84. Again, if you see these massive gains, a lot of people like to take profits. It like 4x itself. So a lot of people started to take profits, but right about here, Gary Gensler made an announcement that the FTX exchange could possibly relaunch itself under new administration. We'll talk about it later in the video, but it did send that price up. But with cryptocurrency, if we got in the last week, if you guys got in, you're doing pretty well. If you guys got into the last month, you're doing really well. In the last year, you guys are doing okay, just depending on which cryptocurrency coins you got in. But so far, cryptocurrency is looking pretty positive. Getting into our news, the IRS has released tax brackets inflation adjustments for 2024. So make sure you guys see where you guys fall in, depending on if you guys are single or if you guys are married and filed jointly. Depending on how much money you make is how much percent you'll have to pay in taxes. Getting into some other news, though, the U.S. mortgage rate had its biggest drop in more than a year. This is really good for investors in property, for real estate, or also your first-time home buyers. I was a first-time home buyer this year. Luckily, I got in on some nice rates. Unfortunately, not a lot of people could take advantage of them, but if you got into a first-time home buyer program, you were able to get in drastically below where rates are right now. But on the other news, though, Jerome Powell spoke at IMF yesterday. He said the Fed won't hesitate to hike rates if needed. So even though we see some mortgage rate cuts here for 30-year mortgages, the interest rates right now, Jerome Powell did say that we could see an increase. Now, the Fed did say after the last FOMC meeting that they did pause interest rates, but again, they did say that they could also raise them if needed. The FBI seizes New York mayor's phone and iPad, mayor corruption investigation. If you guys want to read more about this, but there's a lot of corruption right now going on with the current administrations right now, whether it's with state or also federal. Getting into some more news right here, Senator John Kennedy talks to Alejandro Mayorkas. He's the Homeland Security Secretary. He talks about the border and stuff like that and how they need more funding from Congress to do the job. Let's see what you guys think. Put your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. But today, Rep. James Comer signed subpoenas for this family right here. Won't be named, but we can call him the big man, his son, and also his brother, and then also a family business associate, talking about a lot of the stuff about payments coming from other countries. I don't want to speak any more on it really because I do get shadow banned because of that. Vivek Romansky destroys Rona Romney McDaniel, who's the head of the Republican Party, demands that she resign on stage, and then says that Elon Musk and Joe Rogan should be the ones that host this, as well as also Tucker Carlson. Again, the RNC is trying to figure out who they're going to have as their presidential candidate for the upcoming election. This is really sad to see, and it could actually destroy this place, so I wanted to put it out there. But a state of emergency has declared in Iceland after the country's experienced over 1,000. It was about 1,400 earthquakes in the Greenvik area. If you guys have ever seen any of these places online, the Blue Lagoon is a popular destination for tourists. But it's like nice waters, everything else could possibly be destroyed. Evacuations took place in this area. Hopefully, this place doesn't actually get destroyed if there is a volcanic eruption, but it actually does look like there is going to be one. Getting into our Watcher Guru news, Bank of England proposes allowing stablecoins as payment options for goods and services. The U.S. Treasury official says the president's administration wants powers from Congress to crack down on crypto. Obviously, we need rules from Congress, but do we need to have them crack down on crypto, or just come up with clear rules and regulations so that these cryptocurrency companies can actually follow them? One of the biggest pieces of news for gamers is GTA 6 is to be announced this week. They're coming up with a trailer here very soon. But I do see that cryptocurrency might play a role with micropayments for this game, and I do see it as one of the biggest games probably coming out of this decade. We'll see what happens with it though, but GTA 5 did really well with microtransactions, and I do see GTA 6 having a lot of microtransactions, but this is where I think you're going to see a lot of gaming tokens going to be playing a role. Some of those might be included like Gala and stuff like that. Getting into some other news, though, HSBC, one of the largest banks in the world, to launch a digital assets custody service for institutional clients. We'll talk about them here in a little bit with Ripple. U.S. Senator Ted Bunn introduces a bill to protect the rights of self-custody of crypto and Bitcoin. So obviously, we self-custody if you guys have your guys' own cold storage wallet. There's, depending on what you guys want to use, there's several out there. The biggest one probably that most people the one that most people know is going to be the Ledger, but they had a lot of controversy recently. Um, Tom Emmer says that the SEC chair Gensler is as ineffective as he is incompetent. We see a lot of stuff that's been going on with him in recent news. And then the SEC, Gary Gensler, did say that the FTX exchange could be rebooted under new leadership. Here's an article on it. If you guys want to read it, again, the article will be down in the comments below. But $9 trillion asset manager BlackRock registers Ethereum Trust in Delaware, which started its way and paved its way for that Ethereum spot ETF. Pro-Palestinian protesters break into BlackRock's headquarters in NYC. We're seeing a lot of vandalism in New York City from these organizations and stuff like that going on with the wars that have been going on and people picking sides. Again, I'm not going to start picking and choosing sides on here, but it's just kind of crazy to see a lot of the looting and stuff and vandalism that's going on right now in New York and other places. California has another issue with that going on. Judge blocks U.S. government's lawsuit against Elon Musk SpaceX, which I think was really good. If you guys want to read more about it, you guys can in the comments below. But Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy Bitcoin investment is now at a $1 billion unrealized profit. Again, we see a president right now that wants to tax the unrealized profit. So if you don't sell your stuff, whether it's stocks, cryptocurrency, whatever, you're at a unrealized profit because you haven't actually have that money put into your guys' bank account yet. You can't actually physically hold it. But they want to tax that unrealized profit. So if he has a $1 billion in profit, he's going to get taxed roughly about 40%. So he's going to have to pay $400,000 in taxes. But if he doesn't have $400,000 in cash on the side, or 400 million, sorry, if he doesn't have $400 million on the side, what he's going to have to do is he's going to have to be required to sell his investment so he can pay that taxes because it's an unrealized profit. This is where Fed Chair Jerome Powell just says, close the fucking door after a climate protester interrupts his speech. And this is where he was talking about the possibility of the interest rates going back up. BlackRock is confident that the SEC will approve its spot Bitcoin ETF by January. And again, it's going to be a lot of spot ETFs. Going to be, they have like 8 of them, I think, on his desk right now. Files for that spot Ethereum ETF with Nasdaq. We did see that Nasdaq and Wall Street were possibly going to be listing cryptocurrency coins. We'll see what happens though. Tron founder Justin Sun's crypto exchange Poloniex hacked for over $100 million. Again, make sure you guys keep your guys' money off of exchanges. It's super important. If you guys are going to keep money on exchanges, make sure, again, it's the small amounts. Again, no financial advice, but they could get taken from these. And then I'm sure in the terms and conditions, they figure that out. The $1,590,000,000 worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum options expire today, and that could be sending the price up or down. Just depends on if they're shorts or longs. But Bitcoin is up over 124% this year. One of the biggest hits to our economy right now is Moody downgrades U.S. credit outlook from stable to negative. So we're going to see a downtrend here in a little bit with your economy. Is it going to send our economy down, whether it's stocks, cryptos, housing markets start tanking? Only time's going to tell, in my opinion. I do see us going towards a downtrend, though, for at least stocks and house prices, but we could see crypto go on a rise. Michael Saylor discusses how companies can escape the destructive cycle of conventional corporate finance playbooks and talks about how cryptocurrency will play a huge role. He's a huge Bitcoin fanatic, though, so obviously he's going to be rooting for Bitcoin. But again, if you guys are investors in cryptocurrency, you want all cryptocurrency to succeed. Robinhood to expand Bitcoin and crypto trading in the EU. Brian Armstrong, who's the CEO and co-founder of Coinbase, says compliance innovation coming on chain. Tokenization requires all applications to have a KYC and attestation process. So KYCing basically puts a digital footprint, makes you have like your driver's license when you go out driving. KYC basically gives your guys' identity digitally to these exchanges so that you guys can make these transactions. So we'll see what happens with it, though. Some people are for KYCing. Some people are saying that it's too invasive because all transactions can be tracked via the blockchain. But we'll see what happens. If you guys are a fan of KYC, put it down in the comments below. Elizabeth Warren and Wall Street Journal spread misinformation on crypto and got caught red-handed. If you guys want to read more about this, you guys can down below. But for the CEO of Coinbase to come out and say this and start taking jabs that are some of our politicians, it's kind of good to see. But I do agree with this. A lot of our members in Congress right now want crypto to fail. And again, they make a lot of money on the back end because they only make $174,000. But after their little 4-year term, they do come out multimillionaires when they leave Congress. The IRS's new rules are bad for your privacy. Join the 119,000 Americans who've already spoken to make privacy an issue for the IRS can't ignore. Standwithcrypto.org. You guys can start putting this in right now if you guys want to. But they basically want you to report all of your guys' transactions. So if you guys go to the grocery store and you guys pay with cryptocurrency, you're going to have to report it. If you're going to go on an exchange and you want to buy or sell cryptocurrency, you're going to have to report that also. Obviously, you're supposed to report your guys' wins and losses when you guys invest, even with cryptocurrency as well. But going to the grocery store, making some transactions and having to report that, or even sending money to a friend. Getting into some big news, though, the SEC filed their opposition to Binance's motion to dismiss. Once more, the SEC asserts that a virtually unlimited flexibility of the securities laws grants it complete authority over crypto exchanges. That misrepresents the law. Let's explore why. To start, the SEC may only regulate crypto exchanges if transactions in the digital assets on exchanges are considered investment contracts and therefore securities under federal law. An absolute requirement of an investment contract has been defined by the Supreme Court, and Howey is a contractual right to the profits, income, or assets of a business enterprise. The SEC tries but fails to dispute that. They begin with a straw man that a formal contract is not required for an investment contract, but no one is arguing that wet signatures on paper are required. The SEC then claims that Howey does not require any contractual obligations, but citing by cases involving contractual obligations, including how we simply put investment contracts require contractual obligations, as case law and common sense make clear. Finally, in arguing incorrectly that the major questions doctrine does not apply to crypto, did the SEC just admit that Ethereum is not a security? On page 47, the SEC says that Bitcoin and Ethereum are the largest crypto assets in existence, but not issues here. Overall, the brief underscores why clarity of the courts is so important and why it equally important that Congress pass comprehensive crypto legislation in the US to put an end to these distortions. Again, the SEC is coming after everyone. They came after Ripple first, then they're coming after Coinbase, they're coming after Binance, they came after Library and Library shut down. They're coming after everyone in crypto right now. Crypto exchange crypto.com joins the World Economic Forum, and we did see a nice increase. If you guys own CRO, which is a cryptocurrency, it's their exchange token for crypto.com. Breaking news: stablecoin issuer Circle considering an IPO. If you guys want to, you guys can actually join the link to. Um, they actually do in pre-IPO of certain stocks. And Ripple does a pre-IPO on Link 2. It's a minimum of a $2,500 buy-in if you guys want to, and depending on what the pre-IPO price is. Circle's on there too as well, I believe. So if you guys want to, just go on the app, download it. I don't have any codes or anything like that. But Cardano and Polkadot form a partnership. They will use Substrate, the foundation of Polkadot's SDK, to build its own partner chain, project showcasing Substrate's potential to expand across Web3, basically just making it interoperable between different cryptocurrency projects, which is kind of cool to see. Some news with HBAR, we got a few things. HBAR responds to the White House request for information of open source security and memory safe programming languages. If you guys want to read more about it, you guys can. But Hedera, one of my favorite cryptocurrencies, they're basically just trying to say that everything is going great with their programs right now. Open source security is there if needed. And if you guys want to read more about it, it's down below. But one of their HBAR council members, Ubisoft, has just partnered with Uminate. More specifically, they partnered with Ubisoft Strategic Innovation Lab. So this is really big news. HBAR has been going up a little bit in price also. But one of the biggest news is HBAR is now being used by Tokion, a company funded by the Department of Defense, the Department of Energy, and the National Science Foundation. So this is really big news coming for HBAR. Some news for Ripple, though. FOMO Pay, again, fear of missing out is what I thought when I saw this. I thought it was fake. But Singapore partner and Ripple Payments Clearinghouse member, FOMOPay also recently began to be a member of Swift Network in December of 2022. So we could see some XRP getting put on the Swift chain right now. We'll see what happens though, but this is really big news in my opinion. But they also came out and they partnered with Onafreak, utilizing Ripple Payments, our crypto-enabled payments technology, to open up 3 new payment corridors between Africa and the rest of the world. Again, just trying to cross-border transactions, revolutionize the world in payments, make it fast, easier, more efficient, and then the biggest thing is cheaper, especially for a lot of these countries who do not have a lot of money to be spending on fees. Uphold partners with Ripple, and they do that with Topper. By Uphold is now live on XRP Toolkit, an interface designed to connect users to the XRP ledger. So this is some more news. Uphold have some big partnerships with Ripple. Again, they were the only crypto exchange in the United States to keep the XRP token on. Rafa Kahneman comes out and says Ripple Swell is going to be from November 8th to November 9th. If you guys want to read more about it, you guys can click this link right here. But getting into some of the news, Brad Garlinghouse says, from Toronto in 2017 to now, we've taken Ripple Swell around the world. I closed out this year's event with a fireside chat with CNBC's Dan Murphy, talking about how we'll get into the next phase of enterprise crypto adoption with regulatory clarity. So he talks about what's going on with the SEC and more. We need new crypto rules and regulations here in the United States because everywhere else in the world is actually adopting cryptocurrency and welcoming it with open arms. And in this chat right here, he talks about how there's going to be several leaders, Dubai, Singapore, and London. They have partnerships right now with Dubai and Singapore, and they're still trying to figure out London right now. But again, Ripple's just keeps on going and going. They're doing very well. Ripple introducing Ripple Payments. If you guys want to read more about that, you guys can. That's what that partnership in Africa is about. Big news coming from Ripple with Medico at Ripple Swell. So HSBC, that big bank around the world, partnered with Medico, announced that they're working with Medico as it plans to launch a new digital assets custody service for institutional clients who invest in tokenized securities. This is super big news because Medico was actually bought out by Ripple. If you guys want to read the press release, it's right there. Some more news right here. If you guys think that there's a lot of rumors and stuff, and a lot of people that also think that Ripple's not going to be using the XRP token once it IPOs. But here's a video right here, and in this presentation with Brad Garlinghouse, it's hard to see, but they actually talk about the XRP token in it. And the last thing right here, the parties have submitted to the judge a proposed schedule regarding remedies, discover, and briefing. And this is where Ripple is going to talk with the SEC about any sort of restitution. So far, a bunch of people have been throwing out numbers around the 700 millions. But thank you guys for tuning in to the end of this video. And if you guys can invest with a big dog, stay on the porch. Thank you guys and have a good one.